nice to see you again, because I
Thank you
met you
very
a
much.
while ago.
Yes.
And the first question is probably just tell about yourself and how you end up with icons.
I grew up in Illinois,
Mm-hmm.
about 1,000 miles from here, but I moved to the east to go to college at Cornell.
Mm-hmm.
Took mechanical engineering, and then I went in the Army and went to Germany for 2 years. And after that, I rode a motorcycle around the world for 9 months. So I started in Germany and went through Austria, Italy, Yugoslavia, Greece, Turkey, Syria, Iraq, Iran, Pakistan.
So it's like 25 countries, right? 25 countries?
I think it's 23.
23, okay.
Yeah. So I got to know quite a bit about the world, and I found it very interesting, and so my life changed dramatically after that motorcycle trip. And I was never able to go to China or Russia because of the Cold War. So in 1980, when China opened up, I went over there for about 10 years, just trips, but setting up plastics factories in China. And then when the Soviet Union broke up in 1990, I went to Russia and got to know a little bit about Russia, set up a plastics factory, and I was interested in learning the history, the culture, and about the people. And one of the things I did was to go to Izmailova in Moscow and go to the flea market. And when I was there, I saw something laying in the dust on the ground and picked it up, and I was told it was an icon. I'd never seen a Russian icon before. So it was very inexpensive, $20. I bought it and brought it home and started studying.
Do you remember what image on the icon? What kind of icon?
St. Nicholas, it's downstairs. I can show it to you.
Okay.
So then I became more and more interested. So my return trips, I bought one for $50, then $100, then $500, and now it's 40 trips later and 15 years later, and I have a museum. So that's kind of my history. Well, the museum is really exciting. When I did it, I didn't know whether people would come or not, because this art is not known very well in the Western world. So I didn't know whether they would like it or what, but I knew I liked it. So I said to my friends, I'm going to do this museum. If nobody comes, I'll still be happy, because I'll be here in the middle of my museum. But in fact, lots and lots and lots of people have come, and more are coming all the time.
So it's practically as your hobby.
It was a
Oh, it's
hobby
more...
and still is a hobby, but more than that now, it's become my new career.
Yep.
I was in the plastics industry for 45 years, and I sort of turned that over to the new generation, and now I'm concentrating on icons.
So how did you choose this particular building for the museum in town?
I looked around, and I was determined to have the museum in Clinton, Massachusetts, because I love this town. And I wanted it to be on Central Park. So I concentrated on buildings that were around the park. And first I thought it might go into the old post office, so we looked at that for about a year. And then all of a sudden this building became available, and I was sure that this was the right building.
Oh, I see. Well, the library, talking about the Bigelow Library there?
No, that's well, originally this was a library.
Library, right.
And it was a post office in 1853.
Okay.
And later on, both the post office and the library moved to new locations.
Yeah, I know that you used here as solar power batteries as a
Yes.
new technology.
We get our electricity from solar panels on the roof. There's about 40 panels up there. It covers one entire side of the roof. The sun is always on the south side, so that's where the panels are. And if it's a sunny day, we get tremendous amount of electricity. If it's a cloudy day, we don't get much, but it makes this building a green building, and I think at last count we were getting about 50% of the total electricity that we needed for this building.
Do you use it as a heating system as well? No.
We run the furnace by electricity, but the actual heat is gas heat.
Gas heat. Mm-hmm. But I know that you're using this kind of very, very gentle light because it's just for protection of icons.
The protection of the icons comes from the windows and the shades and all of those things which block out.
So you before you designed the museum and before you put collections, so you did some research.
We completely took everything out of the building because it was old, and we took the walls out and sections of the floor, and we blocked up some windows. We did all kinds of things like that. So if you'd been here maybe 2 years ago, inside this building, you would have seen nothing but bricks, brick walls. And we put a new roof on the top of the building. The old one had burned off in history. Now the lighting that you're talking about is LED lighting. It takes low energy and it's very colorful, and so we have that around all of the walls, and it creates a nice atmosphere.
Right. Well, because some of the visitors asked me last time from my group, is the floor is original floor upstairs? I said, I don't think so.
Well, the floor is where it was, but we put new boards on top of it. And then down here we put carpet on top. And of course we had to cut this big hole in the floor, so we had to.
And I know this is like a Guggenheim museum.
Well, it's better than the Guggenheim.
Better, okay. the staircase. Well, I know that collection right now have like 300 icons.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, and in the display, how many?
We have about 120 on display.
Okay, 120. All right.
But we're constantly sending displays out for exhibitions in other locations.
Right, but you will get for exchange another icons to display?
We're buying new icons all the time. I bought 6 in Berlin last week, and I'm going to the Christie's auction in about 3 weeks. So we're continuing to buy.
Right, but do you have any kind of exchange exhibits with maybe some other museums who has icons as well?
We haven't gotten into that, but we're going to with the Tretyakov in Moscow. We've already made arrangements with them to get some icons from them, and they're suggesting they'd like to have some of ours.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah.
So, yeah, we'll do more of that. We don't have a lot of extra icons at the moment, so if we have too many exhibitions, we have to take them off the wall, which I don't like to do.
So the museum at some point here in Clinton is a unique museum because we don't have in the United States any other particular museum of Russian icons. We do have some kind of collections.
Yes.
So as far as I know, one in Texas is a big collection.
Yes, there are collections in California.
San Diego.
Yes, and up in Alaska, and maybe other places, but they're reasonably small collections. I think that probably the biggest one is in the 40 to 60 range. And this one is the only one exclusively Russian icons. We don't even have Greek icons or anything else, and we want to keep
That's what you choose. You choose to,
That's what we want to keep it that way.
Right. I was just curious myself, that do you have any stories? Well, the first story, how you bought the first icon, we already heard. But do you have any other stories you would share with us about maybe how you purchased or found another icon, like maybe the sad one, maybe the happy one, maybe the interesting one, something like that.
When we started the museum, we didn't have any large icons. We just had 10 by 12, which is inches, that is. That's the regular size. So I knew we couldn't have a museum without large icons.
Huh.
So I have a friend in Germany who helps me.
Mm-hmm.
And Germany is the best place to get Russian icons now, because you can't take them out of Russia.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no point in finding them in Russia.
And I know that you have here on display information about the Museum of Icons in Germany.
Yes, in Regensburg. Let's see. Yeah. No, that Regensburg is where there's a gallery that. Recklinghausen is where the museum is in Germany. It's a nice museum, about the same size.
I looked at some information that it's mostly from Kiev, the icons.
It's possible. I'm not sure about it. I visited quickly one time, and I haven't studied it that closely. We're the only. I think we're the largest museum outside of Russia.
Yeah.
And possibly Stockholm has a better museum. I'm not sure, but a lot of people talk about that.
So are you planning to expand because the collections are growing?
We have a plan for expansion relatively soon, and it's not so much for more collections, but it's going to be a place where we teach.
Yeah, educational programs.
Educational programs, especially to children. And we'll have classes up there, classrooms, and teach them how to paint icons.
How about Russian language?
I don't know that we're into that yet. You probably want to know why I don't speak
Right.
Russian. When I was in the Army in Germany, at age maybe 22 or 24, I was determined to learn German. And I worked hard at it for 2 years. I had tutors, and I went to Goethe University, and I did all sorts of things. I finally got to the point where I could get along, but it was so difficult for me that I said, I've done my duty. Every American should know another language.
That's for sure.
Because most of them don't.
Right.
And that's, the rest of the world doesn't like us because we don't speak other languages. But I said, I don't think I can ever learn another language. So I just never got around to doing it.
Okay.
In Moscow, we have about 6 or 8 employees who speak fluent fluent English. They're in our company there, our plastics company. So I have a lot of help when I'm in Moscow.
I see. I'm just curious, what is your national heritage?
It's not Russian. It's English, Irish, and German. It's a mixture of those 3. But
okay.
We don't spend too much time thinking about that in this country because everybody's got some different heritage here.
Right. But it's like, I know that you call yourself as a Protestant.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and
well, I've gone to church pretty much all of my life. And I've changed different denominations, but I'm a Protestant, and at the moment I'm going to the Congregational Church. But there has been a big change in me, because I never read the Bible until I got into icons. And now I read the Bible a lot and study the Bible. So I've learned a lot, and that's one of the good things about this collection. It's caused me to become a stronger Christian.